So if you're over 65 and on Medicare and Social Security, you're going to want to hear this. So this lesson today, we're going to mostly be talking about Medicare and Medicare supplement. And I want to talk about Irene, who's a recent client of ours. She's just turned 71. When she first came into us, she was age 70. And we very quickly found out about all of this, and she was really giving us the hands-off on her Medicare because she's been on the same plan since she turned 65, almost 6 years. She'd been real happy with it, and with her recently deceased husband, it had paid off the bill. So she was just kind of like, I've come into you and I want to talk to you and I want you to get your help. We're financial planners to help her with her retirement income. Okay. And so what I'm talking about is she just started her Social Security because she's just retired or is retiring. So over age 70, she's got a nice benefit in that. And we needed to look at the taxation on that. And that's based upon her overall income. We were looking at her 401k and IRA and how that's invested and whether that's appropriate for retirement, whether we want to consider rolling it over. We need to make sure that we meet the age 70 and a half minimum distributions. She's concerned, as many of you are, about her estate and what happens to her money when she passes away and how it's all distributed, as well as life insurance and how much does she need in retirement, how we're going to pay for her final expenses, and then as well as long-term care. She's very concerned about that. And really with all of this mixed together, this is what she came in to talk to us about. And when we get together and we start preparing a budget, that's where we're back on this, is that we're going through all her monthly expenses. And I discovered she was paying $251 a month for her Medicare supplement. And I said, I know you don't really want to change that. You don't want to look at changing it, but let's go ahead and do that just a little bit. We're not agreeing that we're going to buy something yet, but we're going to take a look at it. And we did this on the way in while we were still preparing all the financial plan. And so Irene was on a Plan G. She was paying $251 a month. And we ran one of these illustrations and rate reports on her and really found her company fourth from the bottom. So what this report is a listing of every company that sells Plan Gs in her zip code, and we represent most of them, and we were able to save her quite a bit of money. But what I also discovered in all this is that she wasn't very well educated and very well versed on the whole Medicare program and then the supplemental insurance that she bought and she'd been paying for 6 years. It was a great program, so I don't blame her for wanting to keep it. It's just costing her way too much money. And she wasn't even aware of all this. So what I'd like to do is just give you a little bit of the same education that I gave her. It's pretty simple, is that Medicare has 4 parts to it: Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D. And Part A is your hospital and skilled nursing insurance. So when you go in the hospital, this is what's going to pay. You don't pay a monthly cost for that. You just sign up for it when you're 65 or when you quit working. Part B is your doctor and outpatient, and that is just pretty much everything that's not in the hospital, and that's paid by Medicare at 80%. You've got $135.50 a month premium that you have to pay every month for Part B, and most folks have that deducted from their Social Security check. And then if you're a high-income person, you've got this pesky IRMA to deal with that can raise your Part B expense, $400, $500, $600 a month. So it's pretty substantial and penal. We could possibly help you with that. And that's going to come out of your Social Security check as well. Part C is something, a lot of folks just don't really get all this. And the Part C is where you're on a network type plan, usually with like Aetna or Humana or United Healthcare, one of those large companies that offers. And what it is you're receiving your Medicare, your Part A and your Part B, you're receiving that from a private insurance company. And this can only be changed in the fall of the year. So you're saying, well, why are you talking about it now? Well, your Medicare supplement coverage, what Irene had and has, which I'm guessing many of you have, this can be changed 365 days a year. So it is not affected by the annual enrollment is what it really boils down to. And then Part D of Medicare, which I'm guessing many of you are familiar with, is a separate plan that pays for your prescription drugs. And this as well can only be messed with in the fall of the year. Now, Medicare itself is a federal program administered by the Centers for Medicare Services. The Medicare supplement insurance, that's regulated by the states. Okay, and it has some similarities state to state, mainly this G plan, N plan. Some of you are on Fs. We can talk about that as well. We just simplified this to most of our customers end up buying a G, and then some of them that want to save a bit on the premium will buy a plan N. So we do most of our business in these two plans, although we're able to offer all of them. And this report is something that I would suggest that you get your hands on. Now, there's a few ways to do it. One is you could just hit Get Quote and on the bottom of this video, and we will get in touch with you and prepare this for you and talk about the prices of all 40-some companies up and down the list. Another way, if you don't really want to tell us who you are, you can go on to cardinalguide.com/Medicare, and you just see a calculator right there. You can run this report yourself and download it. You don't have to tell us who you are, no charge. You could run the G and the N or whatever plan that you wanted. It's a pretty easy calculator to use. I published a couple of books. One is the basic book, the other one's the workbook. They're out there, they're on Amazon, so you can go and get them. You can also get to them on Amazon and some other sources through our website. We're on a weekly podcast that there's about 60-some episodes up there already, so some folks have listened to them historically. You could even go find like the Medicare ones. They're available on just by Googling Finishing Well or Hans Scheil. They're also available at our website. Or you could just give us a call. We provide this consulting to people. We work in all 50 states and District of Columbia. I'd be glad to help you. I'm Hans Scheil, and I thank you very much for listening.